I fixed the mess you didn't face. I gave you love, you gave me space. You watched me rise, then turned around. Like strength is what you feared I'd found. You loved me more when I was cracked, when I was lost, when I stepped back. You needed me when I was low, but hated how I started to grow. You kissed my wounds, then ran from light. You loved the fall, but not the fight. You let me heal just to leave. Watch me build and pulled your sleeve. You held me down and called me free. You loved me less once I found me. You saw me whole, lost belief. You let me heal just to leave. I cried in corners you ignored. You only knocked when I implored. I gave you roots, you wanted wings. I gave you truth, you wanted flings. You needed love, you could outrun, so you stayed close till I was done. Now I'm too much for your disguise, so you disappeared without goodbyes. You let me heal just to leave. Watch me build and pulled your sleeve. You held me down and called me free. You loved me less once I found me. Is not the flame. You watched me rise, then dropped my name. You let me heal just to leave. And maybe that's the worst, to grieve that I got strong, stood on my own, and found myself to stand alone. I used to cry at every door. Now I walk like nevermore. You drained my light to fill your void. I was your peace you have destroyed. You liked me weak, not wide awake. You loved the girl you knew would break. You fed me lines I learned to play, but then I left and found my way. You thought I'd beg, thought I'd rewind, but I don't miss what made me blind. I don't regret leaving, don't regret breathing, don't regret the nights I cry. 'Cause now I sleep with nothing to hide. You had your grip, you played your part, but I escaped with all my heart. You called it love, I called it fear. You needed me, so you'd appear. You held me just to hold control, not once to make my spirit whole. You liked the echo, not the voice. You never gave, but killed my choice. And when I walked, you stayed in place, like love should beg to be erased. I don't regret leaving, don't regret breathing, don't regret the nights I cried. 'Cause now I sleep with nothing to hide. You had your grip, you played your part, but I escaped with all my heart. This isn't hate, this is release. I walked away and made my peace. I don't regret leaving, I just regret believing that someone like you knew my worth. Now I walk free, and that's my birth. kept my face. I showed up whole, you came in parts. I opened doors, you locked your heart. You needed soft, I broke for real. You needed love, you wouldn't feel. You say we tried, I say I did. You say we lost, I know you hid. I was the one who stayed. Through every lie you softly laid, I stood while you just played. I fought while you delayed. You call it fate, I call it fear, 'cause I was there and you weren't near. You called it hard, I called it truth. You said we're fine, I showed the proof. You let me beg, you let me bend, then ask why I was near the end. I lost myself to keep us strong. You wrote the script, I played it wrong. You say you hurt, but not the same. You watch the fire, I live the flame. I was the one who stayed. Through every lie you softly laid, I stood while you just played. I fought while you delayed. You call it fate, I call it fear, 'cause I was there and you were near. I gave you chance after break. You gave me doubt with every take. I was the one who stayed. You called it love, I called it fate. You never meant to match the weight, but I stayed in and you escaped.
You kept me close, but kept the door. Left just enough to want you more. You said not now, you said just wait. But I was never in your fate. You liked me best when I was quiet. I loved my light, but wouldn't try it. I was your maybe on the side, the backup heart you couldn't hide.
You needed me to stay, not win, so you locked me deep within. You kept me, never chose me, left me in your mind, not openly. You held me when your world got dark, but left me when I showed my spark. You wanted safe, I wanted real, but you don't know how love should feel.
You liked the way I calmed your storm, but not the way I asked for more. You said you're different, but stay blind. You kept your heart and borrowed mine. You gave me space, but not your name, and let me drown inside your game. You took the best, ignored the cost, and called it love. I call it lost.
You kept me, never chose me, love me in your mind, not openly. You held me when your world got dark, but left me when I showed my spark. You wanted safe, I wanted real, but you don't know how love should feel. I was the light you wouldn't hold, the right one in a cage too cold. You kept me, never chose me, loved the thought, but never showed
took the parts that fit your frame, the softest touch, but not the flame. You loved my laugh, ignored the pain. You held my hand, then pulled the chain. You kissed my mouth, not what I meant. Took all the light, but not the depth. You called me whole when I was split, and left me aching, piece by bit. You wanted half and took it proud, left the rest to scream out loud. You loved me in pieces, never learned the rest. Took what looked pretty and ghosted the mess. I gave you my story, you skipped every page. You stayed in the silence and left in my rage. I let you in, you marked the wall, but never cared to see it all. You said you shine, but dimmed my sun. You liked the chase, not who I'd become. You played with cracks, not who I am. You took the stillness, not the slam. You held the mask, not what's beneath. And I was love while you were brief. You loved me in pieces, never learned the rest. Took what looked pretty and ghosted the mess. I gave you my story, you skipped every page. You stayed in the silence and left in my rage.
I gave you gold, you marked the dust. You saw the shine, but broke the trust.
You loved me in pieces, like I'm not whole. You touched the edges, but missed the soul. I gave you love, you gave me less. Now all I am is what's left. Now you miss me, that's a joke. You lit the fuse, then watched the smoke. You shut me out, called it space. Now you want back my broken place. You taste the loss, now miss the flame, but never care to learn my name. You say I'm sorry like it's air, but you weren't there, you didn't care. You miss the me that stayed too long. You miss the girl who made you strong. Now you miss the mess you made. Now you miss the price I paid. Now you scroll through what you broke. Now you wear my pain like smoke. You didn't miss me in the storm, but now you miss the girl I was before. You miss the comfort, not the weight. You miss the voice that wouldn't hate. You miss the hands that held your fall, but not the girl who gave it all. You say we had it, no we didn't. You had a heart, you just didn't sit in it. You missed the light, but broke the bulb. You made the mess, now feel the pull. Now you miss the mess you made. Now you miss the price I paid. Now you scroll through what you broke. Now you wear my pain like smoke. You didn't miss me in the storm, but now you miss the girl I was before. I was gold in your hands. Now I'm dust on your plans. Now you miss the mess you made, but I won't be your old parade. You miss the fight, you miss the rain, but I won't bleed to prove your pain.
I said I love you with my chest. You said it back, but not your best. I meant forever when I spoke. You meant a line, then let it choke. You held my hands, I held the truth. You held the mask, I held the proof. I stayed through storms, you rode the breeze. You loved in whispers, I loved with screams.
You said the words like they were free, but never meant them like me. I said it first and I meant it last. You said it fast and let it pass. I bled in love, you were the name. Now all that's left is me and blame. You said it first, but I lived it more. You closed the book, I was the war.
You liked how love made you look soft. I liked how real it felt when lost. You liked the sound, not what it meant. I kept it burning while you went. You said forever, looked away, and packed your heart like it's on layaway. You said we're fine, I watched it fall, and still I stayed through all it all.
I said it first and I meant it last. You said it fast and let it pass. I bled in love, you were the name. Now all that's left is me and blame. You said it first, but I lived it more. You closed the book, I was the war. You said the line to feel the part. I said it real and gave my heart. I said it first and meant it whole. You wore the ring, but not the role. Now I move on, no looking back, but I'll remember what you left. I'm tearing up your pictures. Whoa, whoa. Tearing up your pictures. Whoa. I found the box behind my bed with all the things we never said. Your notes, your face, your fake forever, all stacked up like we were better. You smiled in shots like love was real, but all I feel is what you steal. So now I sit and tear them slow, each piece of truth you'll never know. You gave me smiles, I gave you soul. Now all I hold is loss and fold. I'm tearing up your pictures, one by one, just like your scriptures. You wrote your love in blurry ink and left me on the edge to think. Now every tear's a cleaner view, 'cause I'm erasing you from you. The frame is cracked, the film is dry. The girl and then forgot to cry. I gave you space inside my room. Now all that's left is dust and gloom. I see the lies behind your eyes. The grip you had was just disguise. So I rip pages, tear the print, and feel the fire behind the hint. I'm tearing up your pictures, one by one, just like your scriptures. You wrote your love in blurry ink and left me on the edge to think. Now every tear's a cleaner view, 'cause I'm erasing you from you. Your face and half your name is gone. You're not a story I live on. I'm tearing up your pictures, not just paper, it's the fixtures you built in me. Now they collapse. I'm free from frames, from all the traps. You smiled fake, but I'm the cure. And I don't hang you up no more.
said forever, like a trend, like words don't bend, like hearts don't end. You built a dream that felt so wide, then left me standing right inside. You held me close, then dropped the weight. You said I'm tired, I called it fate. You said I'm here, then disappeared, and made me question why I cared. You called it love, I called it lie. You stayed just long enough to try. You didn't mean forever, you meant until it's tough. You didn't mean together, you meant until enough. You gave me words I couldn't keep, then walked away like it was sleep. You wrote a vow with empty hands. You made me build on sinking sand. You kissed like loss but smiled like gold. You played it warm but stayed so cold. You said I'm yours, then called it past. You gave me love that couldn't last. Now every song that held your name just tastes like glass and sounds like blame. You didn't mean forever, you meant until I break. I loved you through the pressure. You loved me till you'd wake. Now all that's left is hollow ground and words I wish you never found. You loved me quiet, not complete. Kept me low so you felt sweet. You held my hand when I felt small, but hated me when I stood tall. You called me real, then changed the rules. You gave me looks, I gave you truth. You liked me bent, not standing straight. Loved my wounds, ignored my fate. You liked control, not love that grew. You needed me to atone for you. You needed me broken, needed my silence to stay golden. Loved the girl who wouldn't fight, not the woman full of light. You needed her to feel okay, but I'm not her, not today. You touched my cracks like they were art, but never held my healing heart. You said I care when I was down, but looked away when I found ground. You smiled when I gave you pain, but turned to ice when I reclaimed. I saw it now, the way you fed off pieces I had left for dead. I'm not needed, broken, needed my silence to stay golden. Lovely, broken, wouldn't fight, not the woman full of light. Broken, hurt to it feel okay, but I'm not her, not today. I'm not your mirror, not your shell. I was your heaven, you chose hell. I'm not your mirror, not your shell. I was your heaven, you chose hell. You needed me broken, but I put myself back open. I rise where you like me low. Now I'm whole and now you go. You said forever first, like love don't need no curse, like hearts don't turn to dirt, like leaving don't still hurt. You made it sound like gold, so I believed too bold. You wrote your name in was too loud and left me in the crowd.
You said forever first, but walked away like it was rehearsed. I held your vow like holy ground. You burned it down, didn't make a sound. You gave me faith, then gave me doubt, and now I know what love's about.
You drew a line and stepped it back. You lit a flame, then turned it black. You kissed my fear, said you were safe, then pulled your soul out of that place. You wanted love, but not too deep. You needed touch, not promises to keep. You needed warmth, I gave you fire, but now I'm cold and you're the liar.
You said forever first, but walked away like it was rehearsed. I held your vow like holy ground. You burned it down, didn't make a sound. You gave me faith, then gave me doubt, and now I know what love's about. You said forever just to hear your voice sound good inside my ear.
Yeah, you said forever first. Now I'm the one who loves the worst. You said it loud, then left in gray, and I still hear it every day.
You said forever first, but walked away like it was rehearsed. I held your vow like holy ground. You burned it down, didn't make a sound. You gave me faith, then gave me doubt, and now I know what love's about.
You didn't yell, you didn't cry, just blinked slow and let us die. You watched me shake and stayed still. You didn't fight, you just stood chill. You let my voice hit every wall, then called it drama, not a fall. You stood in silence, held your pride, while every part of me just died. You didn't speak, but that was loud. Your quiet hurt more than a crowd. You said nothing, and I felt everything. I felt the weight, I felt the sting. You walked like love was just a thing. You shut your mouth, I lost my breath, and every silence screamed your death. You gave me eyes, but not a word. You watched me burn, then said you heard. You let the moment slip like smoke, then blamed me when the silence broke. You left me with 1,000 thoughts while you just nodded, tied your knots. I begged, I bled, I cracked inside, and you just stayed on your side. You said nothing, and I felt everything. I felt the weight, I felt the sting. You walked like love was just a thing. You shut your mouth, I lost my breath, and every silence screamed your death. Oh, oh. You said nothing, that was real. You watched me break and didn't feel. You said nothing, and that's what broke me. You let my heart fall slowly. You walked away so clean and calm, while I still screaming. You said I love you, but with rules. Stay small, stay soft, ignore the truth. You like me kind, but not too loud. You like me broken, not too proud. You held me close, but not too high. Feared the fire behind my cry. You kissed my lips, but not my name. Loved the girl before she changed. You called it care, I called it cage. You needed love without the rage. You wanted me quiet, not strong, not wild, not full of riot. You wanted peace, but not my voice. You wanted soft without the choice. I gave you loud, I gave you real. You gave me silence I could feel. You said don't cry, I heard don't speak. You called me too much every week. You tamed my spark to fit your mold, then blamed me when the words got cold. You wanted half, not all of me. You smiled when I'd agree to be the version you could sleep beside, the one who learned to run and hide. You wanted me quiet, not strong, not wild, not full of riot. You wanted peace, but not my voice. You wanted soft without the choice. I gave you loud, I gave you real. You gave me silence I could feel. But I won't shrink to make you stay. I'll burn the silence you obey. You wanted me quiet, but now